Good wishes to all. Today we are going to see the topic 18 electron rule. I am Dr. M. Sumitra, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, PG, Vellala College for Women. And this electron rule is very much important in predicting the stability and bonding in transition metal complexes. Now I am saying the transition metal complexes is major compromises of d block elements, and mainly this 18 electron rule goes into the category of organometallics and coordination complexes. Let us see what is 18 electron rule. The 18 electron rule states that many stable transition metal complexes reach a filled valence shell of 18 electrons. That is, it has to take the 18 electrons. It has to fill 18 electrons in order to attain a proper structure, stability, and it tries to retain the noble gas configuration. This means, that is, this corresponds to 2 electrons in s orbitals, 6 electrons in p orbitals, and 10 electrons in d orbitals. And seeing the diagram itself, we can understand there are total 9 orbitals in transition metals, which seeks a structure stability through expanded valence shell. In 1s orbital, we have 2 electrons, and p block elements, p block orbitals, we have 3 orbitals comprising of 6 electrons, and a d block we have 5 orbitals comprising 10 electrons. Totally into 2 per electron if you put, we will get 18 electrons. So if you attain 18 electrons, we can reach the noble gas configuration, which shows that 18, that is, it is becomes stable throughout the process. Just as main group elements seek an 8 electron octet, transition metals utilize their available d orbitals to expand their capacity, striving for the ultimate stability of a noble gas configuration. The 18 electron rule is a stability rule. As I said before, it is for transition metal organometallic complexes, and it is analogous to octet rule. We very well known about the octet rule. Octet rule is you have the valence shell as you have 8 electrons in the outermost valence shell, but it applies to the valence shell electron configuration of metals. Most low spin stable organometallic complexes obey this 18 electron rule. There are two methods in 18 electron rule. One is ionic method and another one is neutral atom method. Under the ionic method, we say that metal oxidation state is assigned based upon ligand charges. What is based upon? It is depend upon the ligand charges. So for example, carbonyl ligand, it is a neutral ligand, and Cl minus is a X type of ligand. And a simple example I have given below, where you have a complex coordination compound, that is, or ion, we have a positive ion over there. So we can calculate it taking cobalt, which is 6 electrons in the valence shell, and each amine, that is 6 into 2. So totally we get 12 plus 6, you get 18 electrons. Metal oxidation state is assigned based upon the ligand charges. Coming to the diagram, example diagram, see how it is CO3 plus, where it has 6 electrons, and the ligand NH3, that is amine, which has 12 electrons, that is 6 into 2, 12 electrons. Total, it is 18 electrons. So, it is said to have a stable structure. Similarly, coming under neutral atom method, metal is treated as a neutral atom where the oxidation is considered as 0. Carbonyl is considered as a neutral 2 electron donor, and here you have the example pentacarbonyl ion here. So where the Fe, it has 8 electrons, and carbonyl where you have 5 into 2, that is each contains 2 electrons, so 5 into 2, totally 10. Totally if you put 8 plus 10, you get 18 electrons. Even this is said to be a stable compound because it attains the 18 electron rule. It obeys the 18 electron rule. And how we can calculate the ligand counting rules. Accurately count the metal valence electrons by classifying the ligands as L type, or it is neutral, or X type, or anionic, or pi type ligands. L type ligands, some of the examples are carbonyl, amine, Pr3, which donate 2 electrons. And X type ligands where you have H minus, Cl minus, CH3 donate 2 electrons. Pi type ligands where it donates 6 electrons is like cyclopentadienyl ligands. See examples of L-type, X-type and pi-type ligands. Here neutral ligands which locates 2 electrons, carbonyl, phosphine and amine. Ionic donors which donate 2 electrons, that is X-type ligands where you have hydride, halogen, alkyl. And pi-type ligands where you have delocalized donors donating 6 electrons, for example cyclopentadienyl ligands. The ligands how it attacks we have given in a simple diagram. Now, how to count and predict. Identify the metal, determine the metal identity and the oxidation of the complexes. Next, ligand class. Classify which type of ligands it belongs to. Whether it belongs to pi type or L type or X type. You classify the ligand and count. Next, sum and compare. That is, add the metal d electrons to the ligand electrons and compare whether it is attaining total 18 electrons. And finally, as a result, if it attains a total of 18 electrons, we can say that it is attaining the stability like noble gas configuration. Here you have nickel tetracarbonyl where it attains the stable noble gas configuration, as well as chromium hexacarbonyl also attains a noble gas configuration. Here why it attains? Because it obeys the 18 electron rule. Nickel group 10 contributes 10 electrons and 4 carbonyl ligands contribute 8 electrons, totally 18 electrons. Similarly here chromium contributes 6 electrons and carbonyl contributes 12 electrons, totally 18. Both these two compounds they show the noble gas configuration. Hence we say that it obeys the 18 electron rule and it is said to be stable. And this one is which is ferrocene, which is said to be a sandwiched compound. It has 2 cyclopentadienyl rings. Each CP donates 6 electrons. So here what happens? You have iron where you have 6 electrons and 2 CP rings. 6 plus 6 you have 12 electrons. Totally it is 18 electrons. Now this ferrocene obeys the 18 electron rule because it obtains 18 electron and it shows a noble gas configuration where we can say it is a stable compound. Though it is a sandwiched compound, below you have 2 CP ring closure, yet we say it as a stable because it attains the 18 electron rule. And what is the importance of this 18 electron rule? It shows a predictability, as I said before, the stability and the reactivity of metal complexes. So stability itself says whether it is more reactive, less reactive or not inert. We can analyze the metal complexes. It explains the inertness of many metal carbonyls because once it attains 18 electron, it doesn't show any reactivity. So it shows the inertness, whether it is inert or it is reactivity, it is being shown. Next, it guides the synthesis of catalysts in the industry. Many catalysts which are obtained through metal carbonyls obeying 18 electron rule guides the synthesis of catalysts in the industrial processes. And what are the limitations? Not applicable to high spin complexes. It is applicable only to low spin complexes. Early transition metals often form 18 or even fewer electron complexes but seems to be stable, but it is not clear from, though it is not obeying the 18 electron rule, still it is said to be stable. Steric hindrance may prevent the 18 electron rule configuration, and these are the limitations of this 18 electron rule. Now coming to the applications, Wilkinson catalysts show interconversions and it is an 18 electron rule compound, and hydrogenation, hydroformylation, polymerization reactions can be obtained using this 18 electron rule. Understanding the catalytic cycles in organometallic chemistry, 18 electron rule is very much applicable. Thank you for your attention and valuable time. Thank you so much.